Some New Yorkers are thinking of packing up and getting out already. They call it the Mamdani migration. The New York Post is reporting that real estate agents are getting flooded with phone calls. Luxury real estate agent Ryan Serhant told the Post that his #1 job will be moving people from New York to Florida again. And based on the results, clients are going to hold off on making any kind of investment in New York City. Lydia Moynihan knows all about this. She's a financial correspondent at the Post and broke this story. Lydia, I had a bunch of my friends over the weekend when they saw this coming saying, oh my goodness, I wish I sold last year. This is a nightmare. How could this be happening? So is this Mamdani migration a real thing?
I think it is, and I hate to say that. Look, what's not surprising is it in the wake of him clinching that Democratic nomination that wealthy people, really anyone with sort of a vested interest in the city, was exploring options of where they could move. Florida, of course, is a well-trodden path at this point. But what's much more concerning is the fact that people are actually walking away from deals. So people who were either in process of signing and purchasing an apartment or, potentially buying something in the future, they're walking away. And so for the next 4 months, I think we're going to see a decrease in the investment in New York City. Anyone with a business is going to be a little hesitant. And of course, that's going to be amplified for 4 years if Mamdani is elected. And of course, Laura, the irony is that these are the very people who he needs to be paying for all of these programs. I mean, the things he's outlined sound like Doge cuts, right? Money, millions of dollars to transgender surgeries for minors. And there's really no way that he can do that if, as I think people will, they're going to pack up and leave.
Yeah, there won't be enough rich people to tax at some point. And again, it's nice to hear that, the former Obama and folks speaking about how dangerous this is. But where were they when this, hornet's nest was beginning to form on the left? I mean, they were nowhere to be found. I mean, you didn't really hear much from any of them. Larry Summers is now worried about the Democrat Party. And, obviously, as an economist, I mean, again, where was he when this was all beginning to form 6, 7 years ago? Longer.
All it takes for evil to prevail is for good men to do nothing. I think people were just backed into a corner and terrified that if they said something, they were going to get canceled. I mean, that's what happened to anyone who didn't fall in line with the ideology for the past decade. But it's going to be very interesting to see, Laura, because there's a quote that I love. There's only 2 places where people count the number of days they're there, Florida and jail. And so I think people have been hesitant to move back to Florida. We're sort of on the cusp of seemingly the city coming back with now people are back to the office. The city seems vibrant, but there is a tipping point. And the fact that Mamdani is saying he will increase taxes further, there is a point at which people say enough is enough. I don't need to put up with this anymore, and goodbye.
Pot smell 24/7, transgender surgeries all paid for, and higher taxes. Yeah, what could possibly go wrong?
The good news is that he's not going to be spending much money on police, right? Because he's said that they have anti-queer ideology. So that will be one area where we can cut costs.
Yeah, exactly. Good point. Lydia, great to have you on. Thank you so much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.